Hey, it's 8:52 a.m. It is August 4th, Sunday morning, and I'm up wanting to make a video. It's been a while. I think it's been it's been a full week since I made a video. I did post a video last night, but I was working on it in days. I started last Sunday, and then I had some problems uploading it, exporting and uploading. It was just you know, dragged on, and I finally had to upload it yesterday. I wanted to make it a little bit more elaborate, really. That last video, excuse my voice too. Um, uh, but I just kind of started getting burnout on the whole issue. The whole subject matter um, is just I want to do different things. Okay, it's I feel as though this issue is so stagnant in my mind, and it's not pleasant. Thinking about the experiences and being betrayed, and it's just weird to me. Very, it's very dark and sinister, and there's nothing positive that I see in it. So, you know, um, it's just ugh, it's not a good conversation, really. I do find it interesting that, I'm looking into my past lives and stuff like that. I think that's, important for my spiritual growth, extremely important, which is the most important thing, I think, in my life. Um, of course, this has affected something that, relates to how I operate on the physical plane. Unfortunately, we have to be able to provide for ourselves. And, it has made it very difficult for me to be able to stand up and find some sort of stability. I've been knocked down so many times. And, this morning I woke up and thought about, how they damaged my credit. And it's so sad because, when I was younger, I would say I was just a typical, kid. I would buy stuff, just be buying it. And so I was very irresponsible as a kid, mainly because I never had formal training on how to manage money and stuff like that. So as I got older, I started realizing, okay, I can do this, and I did it. I feel as though I've been very responsible, and I've built up my credit. My credit was like sparkling clean a year ago, and because I've been struggling to, because of the smear campaigns, cut me out of work, the bullying, all of that, and it's affected my credit. And at 53 years old, I'm going to tell you how sad it is to have my life wasted on um, just garbage. You know what I mean? The being chased, the meaning having the bullying, the stalking, the all of it. It's created so many problems for me. I now have a repossession on my credit report because of them. And, I'm just being honest, okay? I'm just saying is, this is the sad part about, bringing kids into the world is the fact that they have to deal with ridiculous injustice. It's a constant, for me, it's been a constant stand up and then be pushed down again. Stand up and then be pushed down again. And it's a very sick, disturbing situation to be in. And a lot of people, they internalize it. I know there's a lot of people who feel bad about, maybe they feel that they haven't accomplished a lot in life and they feel bad about it. But I'm going to tell you, a lot of things are built into the system. Meaning, your friend might have some sort of control over your work, or they might be causing problems for you in your workplace. These little things that happen to you are often orchestrated. You know what I mean? And it's not you being a failure. I don't believe that I'm a failure. I will never accept that. I will never believe that. I never believed it. Never. Never believed it. I always knew that, I would shock a lot of people by the things that I would say and whatever. I always knew that. And I understood, I always thought that that was the only reason why people resented me. But now I look deeper into it, I'm like, oh wow, the whole thing about my bloodline and all this stuff, like, whoa. Anyway, yeah, so at 53 years old, 53 years old, I've racked up some debt, and I've heard a lot of other people talking about this issue, owing debt, and I keep thinking, gosh, I don't even know what to say. It's just, I look at so many of the injustices. I don't want to go too much into it because really, I know that a lot of my thoughts are only negative. If I think about the things I used to do in my past, it becomes negative. Okay. If I think about, the present, I'm bored. So the future is bizarre to me because, these people have dealt me such a huge blow that I literally have to take each day at a time because I never know what I'm doing next, right? So I kept thinking, okay, I don't have anything positive to think about outside of my little world of enjoyment, my little hobbies or whatever, and that it's good to have that in your life, but you also have to function. And unfortunately, what they've done is I have very limited social interactions, mainly because I've been disturbed by my interactions. The interactions I've had over the last few years have all been negative. Like, I mean, I would say like people are polite now, but it's just like I just remember going into work environments and having a nightmare of a time. And so, a lot of this has caused me severe problems, and and it does. Okay, I mean, we need to understand that this is an origination. This plan or whatever, it was from Joseph Mengele, and that's the roots of it. But anyway, I want to, when I start thinking more and more and more about it, I get, it just becomes very dark to me. Like the whole thing is so sinister. I'm not comfortable with it, and and yeah, it disturbs me. I'm disturbed by it, and I'm disappointed in you know things I used to know, like the people I used to know when I grew up when I was younger, in my hometown and stuff, and knowing that people treated my father the way that they did for it just have you ever like become so disgusted, and unfortunately such a huge amount of people were involved in this, it just you cannot, it will change the way you see things. It's just going to be the way it is. It is the way it's the way it is. I can't change that. You know what I mean? It's like a shock. It's disturbing to me that somebody would actually put somebody in a situation where they are, um, you know, uh, blacklisted, and they have like some weird reputation where they can't defend themselves because they don't even know what you're talking about. Anyway, I wrote down some thoughts that I had this morning. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that I have been doing things to try to stimulate my mind. Okay, like stepping off of my normal routine as much as I possibly can, because I don't leave the house much. The only time I leave the house is when I go out for groceries or something, right? Yeah, groceries. That's it. I only go out for groceries. Other than that, I don't really have any place to go. I have been thinking about maybe walking up to the park every once in a while because I need to get out of the house. It's not healthy for a person to be cooped up in the house all the time. And uh, the solitude is very disturbing. I mean, I enjoy being by myself, but it's like I need to be around other environments. Okay, even though I may like be a part of the conversation, it's weird just all the time. The solitude, the forced solitude that I was placed in, has caused me severe problems. They talk about the damage, psychological damage of isolation. I'm going to tell you, I've dealt with that. Okay, I've dealt with it for years. The isolation thing, the whole let's not talk to Maria thing, the whole cut off, the whole whatever. Like I said, this whole system thing was designed by Nazis, and I will tell you that I'm surprised that somebody can survive like this, really. Okay, so yesterday I posted my video, my illuminated path, okay? And I want to clarify something. I had said before that I have lived a very unique life, okay? So therefore, I'm going to have different points of view than most people, okay? There are some things that aren't necessarily right or wrong. It just is. You know what I mean? It's just a person's personal circumstance. And it is what it is. I mean, I'm not in a position to where I can trust people ever. You know what I mean? Because of how I was raised, what happened to me, and the environments that I've been around, and the people I've been around. So, I'm not comfortable with people. You know what I mean? And I think I've shared on my video. I just realized this morning. Okay, I was bragging when I made like 1,000 videos. I was like, yeah, okay. I had to throw that into the conversation every once in a while. Like, yeah, I do like 1,000 videos. I just checked this morning. Okay, I inadvertently checked because I was updating my basic information on my YouTube page. Okay, and so I just wrote a new script, right? And so I have noticed that I have already made 1,461 videos, okay? Originally, I was talking about being a targeted individual, okay? And I was, thinking for all this time that was just my family that hated my guts. I had no idea that there was like this huge campaign against me and my father. So it blew me away. I started putting pieces together. And everybody knows throughout my 1,461, this is like the 1,462, which makes, that's how many videos will be posted after I upload this video. You know what I mean? Which I have to say, I'm consistent. But I did upload this video yesterday, and talking about my viewpoints and how I feel about something. And I know that a lot of attention has been focused on me, like in the workplace and online, because of my targeting by certain individuals. I will say a group of celebrities, okay? And I have been made out to have this reputation, which the reputation has been going on for quite a long time that I was not aware of. Mainly due to my religious views. And, a lot of people have all kinds of beliefs, you know what I mean? All kinds of beliefs. And this is where it becomes an issue relating to law. And I think this is a good example, okay? A lot of people have all kinds of religious views. And a lot of times, certain religions might have something specifically against another group of people, okay? And, I understand that people have their needs to have an idea of feeling superior or whatever have you, okay? That's your little group activity and that's your fun, okay? But when it comes to things, the legalities of it, you can't act on it and expect there not to be any consequences. Like if this is for other people, okay? Like, for example, you might be you might be a born-again Christian, for example, and you don't like Catholics because of the whole Mary thing, okay? If you were to enact some sort of hate crime, whether you throw rocks at their house, set their house on fire, blow up their church or whatever, okay, that's a hate crime. Okay, it's a hate crime, okay? You might, if you feel as though that you need to be separate from another individual, you don't like me, okay, for some reason, okay, then fine, you go ahead and you build your own and you focus on your own, okay? But when you come into my zone, okay, and you create some sort of harm to me because you believe something, okay, this is where you broke the law, okay? And so the thing is that, okay, this is what they believed about me. They believed that I was evil, possibly evil, okay? They believed that I didn't serve God, and they wanted me to be a part of their religion where I'm supposed to be looked down upon and treated like garbage and just accept it. And they're supposed to be like, no, it doesn't make sense, to me to do something like that. I wish that this never wasn't a religious issue. I know it was originally a race issue, which they used religion to fuel it. But anyway, my point is that I need new experiences, and because I've dealt with racial harassment my entire life, I saw my father deal with it, and I've dealt with religious targeting, as an excuse, because the funny thing is these people, these same people who are persecuting me, have a huge interest in it. And in fact, I mean, it's so dark, I can't even tell you. But anyway, I just want to move on from this issue. You know, I can't tell you how it would just be nice to have something normal for a change. You know what I mean? Like, just think about something different, just throw myself into something different outside of my house all the time. You know, I'm tired of it, you know, and it just, I'm disgusted by the entire thing. You know what I mean? There was a time where, you know, I felt as though, uh, you know, I could think about positive things. You know what I mean? And then you find out that people have these weird, twisted thoughts. I don't need to know all of that. You know what I mean? I don't want to know all of that. You know what I mean? You know, I'm shocked that people actually believe that about me. But yet, see, they think this is something that they find fun to harass and terrorize somebody, and then they turn around and call me evil. I'll never understand it. But then again, you know, when you think about this being hell realm, of the realm of hell, it does make sense. It makes total sense. Okay? Because I've been persecuted all my life for some stuff that just, like, literally blew my mind. Anyway, I hope that you like it. I hope that people watch my Illuminated Path and form your own opinions. You know what I mean? But whatever it is I believe, you know, I try and keep it to myself. I've always been very polite to people. I've always respected life of all forms, regardless, because I look at everything as a spiritual thing. I'm not interested in fighting for worldly positions. Meaning, like, I'm not interested in trying to, like, you know, I've never shown any of that. I understand that people like their material things. I would love material things. I had basic things, and they took that away from me. Okay, I just had my car repossessed because of them. Okay? Because of this celebrity group that thought touring with my life was great fun. And somehow I was evil. I'm just trying to make this make sense. But it feels good to them because they feel as though they did it because they felt superior. Okay, they have power, but they have a power that to me is something that I want nothing to do with. Meaning, you know, the kind of power that it makes them feel good about knocking down what people have tried to build up. And it makes them feel good about themselves. You know what I mean? You have the ability to do it because they can get the cooperation of other people. So that gives them power. And that's the kind of power they're interested in. I'm not interested in that kind of power. Okay, I'm a very spiritual person. I didn't want to play this game. Unfortunately, you know, it's caused me a lot of problems. Okay, it's a psychological, mental issues that causes. I'm surprised, you know, I think I'm very strong, okay, but there's always going to be some sort of after effect of dealing with something like this. Okay, because I know what this plot was meant to do. It was meant to have me kill myself. There's no doubt about it. Because people thought the story of C.B. Berganza was pretty interesting, so they wanted a replay of it. That's what they wanted. Okay, good old fashioned, you know, Christian people. Okay, they didn't even want to tell me that something was wrong with my soul so that they could save it, right? But they wanted people to bully me. You know what I mean? This is bullshit. Okay, but anyway. Anyway, I want to be able to make videos and not talk about these issues anymore. I really don't. I really do want to go and just talk about something else. Okay, but I do have all my videos that I've created. It shows the story of my understanding of everything, how I've evolved like in this knowledge of first it was just this girl who was bothering me at work, then my family was involved, and my ex-husband was involved, and all these other people went along all the way up down the, you know, higher level whatever mind blown situation. You know, then me finding out that my father was, you know, treated poorly. Why he was treated poorly? I knew he was treated poorly. I knew something was going on when I was younger, but I didn't know exactly what. I just thought that people were intimidated. Some people were racist towards my father. So I didn't think of it any that deep. I didn't think it was that deep. I did hear some rumors, but you know, the whole thing to me is very sad. It's very sad. Very sad for my father, and very sad for me. But you know, I'm strong.
It's like I'd rather me go through that than anyone else I care about go through that, because I know it's hard. And the very fact that my father went through it, it's just like, oh my gosh. That's sad. Okay, anyway. I did update my YouTube channel, okay, and I bounced around through YouTube so many times, like, because I've been, shadow bound or whatever you call it. My numbers were skewed. Like I'm always, manipulated somehow online, and it just got really tiring for me. But I have, like, created several channels throughout the last few years, and I'm just gonna stick with this one. You know what I mean? Mainly because I'm tired of toggling around. It doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? I would say that these people smeared me pretty good. They smeared me really good. And it's not that their story was believable, but what it did was it encouraged people to have some sort of false sense of pride. And this is something that works when it comes to mind control. Giving people this feeling of, oh, I'm the in crowd, or I'm inclusive, or blah, 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 blah. It gives people extreme power. You know what I mean? And so this is what happened. People wanted to believe that I was a bad person, so they could justify their ill behavior towards me. So they didn't have to feel guilty about it. You know what I mean? I already know what happened. Okay, I'm on top of it. Okay, but I'll tell you what, I'm disturbed by it. And by me saying that I'm disturbed by it, I'm saying it because it's true. But the sad part, like I said, is I don't feel that anybody who could abuse somebody to this level has any redeeming qualities. Like, I don't care if they're sorry or not. I don't want to hear it. I'm tired of it. I'm disturbed by the entire thing. It's like, this is the shit that wakes me up at night. This is stuff that I'm disturbed by. But I did update my picture as well, and I decided to keep that one because I like the way that I'm not wearing glasses, and I like to see my face that looks just like CB's. I love the fact that I'm CB. I love CB Bergenza. I do. I'm a fan of CB. Okay. Okay, so this next video that I want to release, as everyone knows, about my defunct Swan Song Manifesto channels, plural, meaning I made 2 attempts to create the Swan Song Manifesto, and both attempts were thwarted. So, I've always tried to be self-sufficient. So when I had problems in the 9-to-5 world, I said, okay, I guess I'll do my best and try to do something online. You know what I mean? And so, once again, here we go. So, I do have a bunch of videos, okay, that I put a lot of work into, and unfortunately they cannot be monetized. However, I am going to be uploading them one by one. I did put the numerology videos out. There are 2 videos that I thought were kind of fun. And then the next video is I'm going to be uploading is the gods. Now, I made this video last fall. It's almost a year old, and originally pasted it on Patreon. And I thought it was a pretty informative video. Now, some people, I never realized that my spiritual news was a threat to anybody. I never meant for it to be. I honestly, truly did believe in the United States and the freedoms of religion. I honestly felt as though I never really thought that people would try to, to use any of that against me. I really did, not to this level. I understood that some people had, there's always going to be some people like my sister who had issues with it, but I never thought that somebody would want to literally back me against the wall, create some sort of problems for me, and try to force me into suicide. I never thought that somebody would do something like that, honestly. So it kind of threw me for a loop, okay? But still, I believe that, I pray to God. Like, I don't feel as though I need to have multiple deities, but have I experimented in the past? Yes. Do I believe that there's deities that people have approached in the past of several different cultures that people viewed for specific reasons and petitioned for specific needs? Yes, I do. And, it's a part of just about everybody's culture. And so I had made a video called The Gods,
talking about, just different deities, okay? But I do believe that many deities throughout the world shower down knowledge, blessings, etc., providence to their people. And so this is something that I have been looking into for very many years. So when I found out that I was um, the clone of Prince Alamehu, and even more so found out that I was a clone of oh, what is her name? I can't even say her name. I'm Lieutenant King Tut's wife. Okay, that blew me away because those are they're deities. Tut and his wife were deities. They're gods. Okay. No, I do not sit here and myself. I do not think of myself as the Almighty God. I do not think that. What a God is somebody who has specific spiritual qualities. Okay, I am not the creator of the universe or anything like that. Okay, but I do have special gifts. Okay, and that at one time, people revered as a God. Okay, so yeah, I did post that video, and I cover, I think, deities of the Mexican culture, deities of Greek culture, Greek Roman culture, some Celtic culture, something. I mean, there's a bunch of them, okay? And I was hoping to encourage people to look into their background. That was it. You know what I mean? I'm sad that, I don't know. I'm just sad that didn't work out. Okay, but I am going to continue this on Swan Song Manifesto newsletter because I feel as though that I cannot stop creating. Like, I like to create and I like to inform. That's what I want to do. Okay, and I don't know how things are going to go for me when it comes to how to take care of myself financially. I am looking for work. But it's very difficult for me because of this nonsense I'm created. I deserve to work in an environment where I could feel at least comfortable in my work environment, and I should not have to sit here and feel like, I don't want to feel like I'm in an experiment. I hate that feeling. You know what I mean? It's not fair. It's not right. It violates all the rules and regulations that are relating to, the employment laws. Okay, and unfortunately, I felt the impact of that nonsense. Okay, I want to enjoy my work. Okay, as much as I possibly can, and that's not. And I think that should be the ideal for everyone. People should be fit for their jobs. I know I've been talking about this. People have been posting how much they hate their jobs, and it's a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. I don't even want to go there. But anyway, I hope you guys check out the gods, and don't get offended. And if you are going to get offended, if you don't like my channel, please don't. You don't know. Okay, but what I think it's important for me is to be around people that understand what I'm talking about. If there are people who are interested in this sort of stuff, and they didn't get penalized in this issue. I wanted to bring this up, okay, because I know that this is an extremely racial issue. Okay, so it comes as a surprise to me to understand that there's some celebrities that were just outright beyond obviously racist in this issue. Okay, and I know they use the excuse of my beliefs, right, against me in this issue, okay? But the fact is that I know that the guy that I used to know when I was growing up is not a Christian. He is what they call a Buddhist, right? But nobody has a problem with him, right? Right? Because he's white, right? So I understand that. Okay, so I never realized that, number one, people that I thought were cool were ignorant, and number two, that they were like so unhappy with their lives they had to sit here and pick apart other people to feel good about themselves. That's mind blowing to me. You know what I mean? So these sort of weird, like, universal truths are being revealed to me, and to me, I look at this as a part of my spiritual journey of higher knowledge. It is higher knowledge. It's allowing me to detach myself from things that were of no use for me here on this earth. Did you hear what I said? It is giving me the opportunity to identify what was no good for me on this earth. It's that simple. Detach. There are certain things that are toxic, and I had so much toxicity in my life. So much. You know what I mean?
some of that too was like I was lured into it because you know what, this is a part of the after effect of my generation. So you like those things. And don't get me wrong, music is beautiful. Okay, it really is. I love music, but people are not their music. They're not their music. They're two separate things. And I've always knew that the entertainer was not the same as the entertainment. You know. And that's how it is. You know what I mean? But I didn't think that there was discontentment, that much discontentment. And the fact that people would, all these years, like, I never realized or thought that people even knew who my father was. I didn't know that we were people that were a focus. Now I'm starting to realize that. Now, as I'm like thinking about this whole thing, like, oh, my dad was like, kind of, people were focused on my dad back in the 70s and 80s. This explains a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? And see, these celebrity people knew my dad through, I don't know, probably organizations that my dad worked in, the fact that he was part of the whole bigger scheme of things, and people probably knew each other. You know what I mean? And meanwhile, while my father was sitting here thinking, well, these people are wishing him dead. Nice. Nice. Wow. You know what I mean? Amazing. That's amazing. But I'm glad that people, that truths are being revealed. You know what I mean? Truths are being revealed, and that's important. So yeah, I was really glad that I made Soul Travelers. I think that was probably the best video I've made in a few months. I'd like to get better at making better videos, but I have been getting more ideas on content, and I do want to continue. Like I said, this one's on Manifesto. I am just not having any specific, like, you know, monthly quotas or videos that I want to put out or anything like that. You know, I felt what I was doing was a noble thing because, let's face it, I mean, I'm not trying to milk off of anybody, you know what I mean? And I'm certainly not comfortable with what was going on in that little, what do you call it, network that I was forced into. So I was trying to do my best to stand up on my own. Like, you know, I believe in self-sufficiency, you know what I mean? So instead of trying to figure out the nightmare of the 9 to 5, I kept thinking, okay, well, I guess I'm going to do that. You know what I mean? And then that was knocked down. You know what I mean? So, whatever. I have my opinions on all of that, but I'm going to keep them to myself. Anyway, I know that a lot of people have been watching this, and they're starting to think now how brainwashed they were. You know, it's weird. It's like, you know what, I start to think about my situation of being rumored and talked about. Like, okay, if there's truth to that, okay, the fact that I was a clone and that I lived before, and that people didn't like me because I was not a Christian in my past life, okay, that's a neutral thing. And that's not bad or good. It just is. But the fact is that people knew that I had some sort of past life association. Something about a past life was associated with my reputation. And not one person thought, oh my gosh, this is the story of reincarnation. You know what I mean? It's like the brainwashing in this whole thing. You know what I mean? This brainwashing in this whole thing just blows my mind. How people didn't start thinking for themselves, like, I'm questioning, like, seriously having the deep questions, like, well, how in the world does this work? Does this make any sense? It doesn't make sense, okay? So I was basically, you know, abused by people, and they were totally in the wrong for doing it. And yeah, I'm saying it, you know? So I want to move on to different things. So I think I'm trying really hard to throw myself into video ideas and keep myself busy. I don't know what's going on with work. You know, like I said, I'm looking for work, and I know not to agonize over it because I don't have any control over those sort of things. You know, I don't. You know, which, you know, I think is funny because I was going to say something about that, but I'm not going to say anything about that. But, you know, yeah, I think I did what I had to do in the moment. Meaning, like, you know, I showed that I was being responsible. You know, I figured I would take care of myself somehow, right? But whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up this video. I will be back with a more informative video sometime later. In the meantime, I will be uploading the gods and maybe the other videos. Now, some of these videos I wanted to also mention that I will be uploading as we go along do come along with instruction manuals, and I do feature items that that could be sold on that are sold online. So I do attach. I will be attaching certain things with those videos, like attachment manual, looks, whatever. Yeah, I put a lot of work into my stuff. Okay, and it's unfortunate that that did not go well. Okay, but it's not that I tried. And I want people to understand something. I am not a gold digger, and I always did everything on my own. That's important. That's important. I want to make sure that at the end of my life, that's said. That is so, so important. I'm gonna wrap up this video. We'll be back in the video sometime later. Take care. Bye-bye.